Welcome back to another live tutorial session in drawing with Paintology app for Google users, the only one with Android phone or Android tablet. So this was yesterday's drawing that it was broken in two parts. The first one on this channel, and then I have another channel where I continue to do this drawing and finish it. So in total, about 2 hours, but if I'm not talking, it can be done under an hour. So I showed you the techniques of making this photorealistic drawing, and first of all starting off with doing the background, the block coloring, which is one of the important components to this drawing, which really trains you in tones, understanding, appreciation of tones, which is critical to any good drawing. So if you're thinking how people draw like that, it's really based on the fact that they have a good appreciation of color tones or black and white tones, yeah? So before I dive into this new drawing, which is the fox, if you've seen the other page where I actually go to. So in order for me to find out and keep tabs with what I'm doing on a daily basis on the daily stream, you should visit this page. So go to paintology.com and then click on this pink button, Daily Step-by-Step Video Tutorials, and you'll come across this page here, and then you'll see that 12th October, we have the subject fox and the reference image, and all the previous, including their completed drawings, yeah? You'll see I put that one of the leopard, and then you'll see a lot more. The horse pony we did the day before. So there's plenty all the way to go back, and you can browse through at your own leisure. So this reference image, we're going to download this. This is the reference image. And I picked the same wildlife for a good reason, because I wanted to show the techniques that I used yesterday. Believe it or not, these are techniques that I'm learning as I'm showing you as well. So it just goes to show the power of the digital medium, yeah? So let me show you a few more items here. The Quora, that's a really a daily page that I maintain, and I encourage you to go and check it out. And it's got everything on a daily basis of all the drawings I've done. Yeah, it's really good for you to follow this, because it will keep you up to date with what's going on. So that's paintology.quora.com. Okay, and then another one I want to show you on this is the Google Classroom. There haven't been many takers on this, but if I would encourage you, I know majority of you like to watch someone draw, and there's obviously a lot of enjoyment watching someone draw and paint, because you can see the process of the artwork being created from nothing, and that's fine as well. But I would encourage you to draw, because this is the only time you probably can follow me, and in terms of having the same Android phone or similar Android phone and then the app. So you can actually follow me much more better than, let's say, someone showing you with traditional, because there's sort of a lot of nuances with traditional. With digital, which I'll show you, is a lot of settings which you can replicate very easily and then follow along with me without much drawing experience. For example, the block coloring does not require any experience. Think of it like very similar to paint by numbers. So this one, the whole idea, the Paintology is actually developed by me, although I don't go and develop it. So I'm a technologist, but I also happen to enjoy art. So I've coupled the two together in order to bring you unique methods of drawing and painting in the digital medium. So you're not going to come across this in many other apps, which there isn't really anyone driving the app apart from developers, yeah. And that's why there's a tendency to have many features crammed with lots of digital tools and that. My approach is very different. And what I do is I'm teaching you core fundamental art skills such as tones, drawing, strokes, lines, shapes, form, perspective, utilizing the versatility of the digital medium for you to become very skilled in it in a rapid time, without too much effort. Don't listen to all these people who haven't ventured from traditional into digital, and they're going to tell you that digital is not the way. Too many tools and that. That's really they haven't seen the what digital can do. And also, don't believe the digital who talk about the traditional camp. The two camps do not see eye to eye, but I'm here to bridge the gap between traditional and digital, and I do so with the methods that I apply here. So I'm a traditional artist and a digital artist and also a technologist, so an engineer by training, yeah. So these skills that you learn from the Google Classroom, the link in the description, and you'll be able to learn core skills of art which you can apply to any art mediums, irrespective if it's digital or not, okay? So that's the whole idea behind the Google Classroom. So you're free to work at your own pace. And if you're really serious about learning art from the core level, from skills that allow you to draw like I've shown you here on this phone. So this is how I draw typically on this phone here. Yeah, this is my phone, Samsung Note 10, and then I use a stylus. I used to use the fingers, which you're perfectly fine to do so, but I'm using the stylus because I can see more of the screen while I'm showing you. So that's what I've been doing recently, but there's a lot of drawings you can see I've done with my fingers as well. So this one is the drawing I did. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to load. Then you can load any picture. This is the home screen of the app. Okay, so it's got, don't be taken back. Don't judge a book by its cover. You know the saying, famous saying, do not judge a book by its cover, meaning you're basing the opinion of what the book is about just by its cover and its image and its title. And that's true of digital drawing. Don't judge it by its cover. You go to the drawer, you come here and immediately go to draw, and then you open up blank canvas, and then you look at all these tools, and then you base the app's capability on that. No, you should not do that. And if you've come here looking for tools, it's because you are using apps that emphasizes tools as a means to draw. If you've come here to learn real art, how to produce art techniques, create our new art techniques, then you're in the right place, okay? So don't judge a book by its cover just because it's lacking in layers or it hasn't got the 1,000 brushes that I'm used to, or it hasn't got the blurring or blending tools and all that. Believe me, when you see the way I draw, you will think that digital tools are primitive. You will. I mean, most people will not be able to. Let me show you a bit. They will not be able to decide whether this drawing was done digitally or not. Here's another one I did yesterday. It's hard to tell whether this was done digitally or not. If you do know how, I would like to hear from you and tell me what exactly that you picked out of the drawing that says it's done digitally like this. See? Because I don't use any digital tools. It all looks natural. And then there's so many more examples. You can see the page I showed you. And then there's lots of examples. There's one of an eagle I did. there. You can't tell whether that's digital or not. If I use digital tools, believe me, it would slow down my work by 10 times or more. Yeah. So now that I've explained, let's go to the drawer, and you can load any image of your choice here, you see. Oh, before I do that, I want to show you this. This today is a very special day. Can you see? Yeah, this I took a screenshot of Paintology, and look what's here. 100,000 subscribers. So you're witnessing the first day that Paintology has reached its peak of 100,000, the first goal. There it is, 100,000. So I hope I can hear all the clapping going on, but that's all right, not a problem. So let's go trace them in and pick this drawing. There it is, the fox. Look at this lovely fox which we're going to draw. And now you're thinking in very 2D. If you start thinking of digital tools, you'll be thinking of this drawing as a 2D object. But I don't. I actually look at it as a 3D object. And the reason I can look at it like a 3D drawing is because, well, of course, apart from the fact that I've done many drawings, but because also I look at tones. Tones are fundamental to drawing. If you look at tones, there's some color tones going on. There's more than just the one orange color of this fox and around the head. There's a variation of the color tones there. And that's what we're going to capture. And block coloring does an exceptional, and it's very easy to follow. It's simple. It's like putting a pizza in an oven. It's so easy. And look at this, and also because of my drawing yesterday of the leopard, you can see here yesterday of the leopard, the background was faded out nice and beautifully. And look at these nice foreground, sharp contrasting with this fox looking out into the open space. Yeah. So first of all, the first task is to do block coloring. And what is block coloring? Well, when you load this image or any other image in trace mode, you have this slide bar at the top. And what does it do? It means that, and you've probably heard of tracing or projecting an image on a canvas for professional artists to draw. They use that as a means to get form and perspective right. And they use it always as a training way. And that's what I'm teaching. I'm not trying to show you a piece of art that I'm quite capable of doing, pretty good one, right? I'm not here to show you that. I'm here to show you how to get there by yourself. So I hope you're following along with me. And that's the whole idea of Paintology, is to install the app on your Android phone and start following along with me. So before I do that, I also wanted to show you, there's the Android app on Google Play Store. So you're free to, this is the screenshot, so you're free to download this, yeah? So all the images that have been drawn with the app, okay? So you can go ahead and install this and then follow along with me. If you have this phone, you don't need a Note 10. Any Android phone will be perfectly capable of getting you into drawing. So what is block coloring? Let's go back. Block coloring, think of it as like paint by numbers, right? So when you have the cursor on the top half, that refers to the reference image or the image you have loaded into your canvas. And this is the fox image. And this represents our drawing. So the way it represents our drawing is, look, if I use the line brush, which is what I often start to do, and then I go here, see, if I pick any colors here, this is my drawing. And then the idea is to transfer that reference image to our drawing using our own manual method of learning the skills. And block coloring is an excellent way of transferring these colors by using this color picker on the top right, yeah? So we're going to pick that color, and then let's say we have the cursor in the top half, which is, remember, is pointing to the reference image. So we pick that, and that's the color, see? And there's the blue color. Can you see every time I land on the, those are the tones. This is so important to any type of drawing because it teaches you what the tones are and how the tones, and your mind becomes fast tuned, and your mind becomes so tuned to the tones. That's why I can easily make realistic, photorealistic drawing even without this trace aid to help me, because I've tuned my brain. It's a bit like when you want to shop for a car and you have a brand model in mind, and what happens? Lo and behold, this car seems to be everywhere you turn around on the street, yeah? Because it's because your brain is tuned into it. And the same with drawing. You need to tune your brain. So even though, some of you will say, well, yeah, this is not going to help. It's like these are the very people who's going to give advice on 100 sprint runners and say, if you want to do 100 sprint runners, don't rely on any tools because that might be cheating. Just go up and down the 100 meters about 100 times each day. That's the kind of advice similar advice that you'll be taking, yeah? So, an athlete does not do that, has a strict diet control, muscle training, weight training, stamina training, you name it, everything. Anyway, so let's go back to this drawing. So we are showing you techniques. So how are we going to do this? What is the best way to do the block coloring? The first thing I'm going to do is transfer all these colors, all the primary colors, as quick as possible to this drawing, okay? So let's undo this, and then let's pick a brush size, and keeping our, I think we go to 13%, keeping our density at 100%. And I'm not going to tell you what that is right now. And then just pick these blue colors. You may think it's just entirely blue, but I have a habit of picking the color picker here like this, and then just going down because I feel that my eye may not see the variation in the tones, but at least I'm able to pick it up like this, yeah? The local tones that are within, and then there may be light tones that are going here, yeah? So that's all I'm doing. Just do that. Just follow along with me like this. So that's all I'm doing, laying down the color. And you don't have to be super accurate. That's the beauty of, it's the great beauty of painting with the digital. This is what we have so far, see? So we got, see, you've noticed there's a light color and the blue is going towards the light color, but it's not blended quite yet. And I'm going to show you blending after this. This is what I was doing yesterday, and I was really enthralled with how I was able to do that. So here's a big brush, as you can see. So now I'm just going along, picking these tones. I'm not doing the fox just right now, just laying down these simple colors, the tones that are happening at the back. And so those tones so the way it works is as soon as you click on the color picker and land on the canvas, it assumes the color from that reference image and you can use it. And see how it works? Very easy. If you can do paint by numbers, you can surely do block coloring. There's nothing difficult about that. Okay, so this is a completely different method of digital drawing that you may be used to. You're thinking, oh, he hasn't accessed any tools yet. I probably will when he gets to the fox. No, it's not like that. As you can see, I'm drawing in very similar manner to traditional methods. Nothing different. When you see someone drawing traditional, what do you see? They lay down very broad colors, just like here, as I'm doing. Notice that I'm now changing the way I'm drawing because I can see tones here. And remember, the whole idea of block coloring is to get these tones that are there. You see the dark tone? And capture them into your drawing, okay? And even this big brush, I'm not too worried about the tiny details because if you noticed any traditional art piece, what do? They start off with something that looks weird and very broad, isn't it? But somehow they magically go all the way down and able to create a beautiful piece of art. So that's all I'm doing, just laying down the primary colors. There's obviously in that region that I just did the block coloring, there's that yellow, there's that green, but I'm not too worried about that. I'm just getting the primary colors here. So anything where it lands is fine for now. So here, and then I'm just laying down the full range, the broad colors. That's all I'm doing. This is a bit of a shift from what you may be doing or thinking, but believe me, this is the only way you're going to enjoy drawing, like just like in the traditional medium. A lot of people will dismiss digital because they're so used to hearing people using all kinds of digital tools, but when you come here, you'll see that I pretty much paint and draw just like I would in traditional. There's nothing different. And it's not a technical mastery of it. And people often mistake it thinking you need to have technical mastery of digital drawing. That's not the case. See, I forgot to tell you that I'm now moving to the colors. See the colors of the fox. Look at that, it's got a shade there. Now I'm putting down the basic primary colors that I can see here, yeah? That's all I'm doing. Pick the color picker and pick these colors. That's all I'm doing there. Can you see it? This brown tone there, and there's a lighter tone. And then often you'll see me as I follow the strokes, the direction of the fur, right? For example, this, I would be following the direction. So you can see just doing that. And if just keep doing that, don't even overthink this method of drawing, right? Block coloring is unique to Paintology. So I came across this while I was waiting in a doctor's appointment, and I was drawing Will Smith, and I was so impressed with the result that I decided that it should become common to the Paintology app. I then continued to do the one of the famous painting by John F. Constable, the Haywain, which is a marshy land, a beautiful landscape of a village, I think, in Suffolk. And it consisted of a marshy land where a cart is on the marsh with a boy and a man driving this cart, and there's a dog barking on the left, and then a small building on the left side. And it's just really amazing. It was one of the I think it's one of the most viewed pictures, paintings of grandmasters. And then when I was doing it using block coloring, I realized some of the techniques that John F. Constable used. It's like if you look at the painting close up, you'll see it's a mishmash of colors. But when you look away, you step away from it, it gives the illusion of something, and that's really all you need to do. Most artists just generally create on a bigger picture, and then they're able to create that big picture in not this way that you may think, and then they try and create a mishmash of these colors, as you get closer to the bigger painting. If you look at go to a museum and look at a painting, get close up, really close up, and you'll see that the particular piece in the painting just looks like a mishmash of colors, right? But yet, when you look away from it, the whole thing comes to life. In fact, you can actually you don't have to go to the museum. Look at the National History Museum in London, the online, and then check that. They have actually high resolution pictures, and then you can see for yourself that what the close-up of that art piece looks like. And this is really the method that I'm typically used here, and I can pull it off. And the leopard, you'll see as you look close to the leopard, you see that there's so many defects. I haven't done it photographically or anything, but yet when you move away and look at the whole picture, it looks like a realistic, painting, isn't it? So now we've done that. Let's save this. So now you can see I've done this very quickly. And I'm going to do something which you don't have to do, which is go back to my home page and pick up the drawing, because I happen to be working on a prototype, but you wouldn't have that problem. So I have a prototype app that the developer tells me that every now and then I should, go save it and then pull it up again. So you'll be fine. So I've taken it down to half, 6%, so I can get to the fox. Look, so I'm picking the color tones here. Every now and then picking the color tones. Right, look at this dark tone. Just pick that up. And then another tone there. So you can see how it resembles paint by numbers in a way, isn't it? And by the way, there is paint by numbers. If you go to the tutorials from the homepage, you'll see many paint by numbers tutorials. And they're all been designed specifically to improve, enjoy drawing, as well as while you're enjoying the drawing, you're learning, learning art. And art should be an enjoyment. If you don't enjoy it, then there's no reason to do it, is there? You can see how I'm sort of using the smaller brush to pick up the tiny details. I was telling you earlier that you can get away with it and see and replicate something with just basic brush strokes like this, which most of the famous artists do. That's why they work with big canvases, so they can pull off this illusion. It's called, I would say it's an illusion of detail. I can put it this way. Look, I'm selecting that tone. I don't know. I'm not being accurate or anything. Just, and then it's got that. And have I done this? Yeah. So here, I'm not too worried about what color it's picked, as long as it looks like it's picked the appropriate color, That's all. And then you can see as you get closer, you'll see these textures. Notice these textures here? Yeah, you see? Right, let's see what we have here. This is pretty much like what we had there. Almost looks like a fox. We could sort of make out, right? That's through block coloring very quickly. And how much time have we spent? 10 minutes or not that, right? And I haven't kept delving into tools, really. This is really digital drawing in a very traditional way. So let's see what we got. Lovely, isn't it? And now what we can do is we're going to now blend the background. See the background there? I'm going to blend this background all the way up to this here, okay? All the way from the sky and down to this area. So I'll let you catch up and just a quick short break, okay? I'll be back shortly. Hello there, and we'll just carry on with this. And before I'm going to save this, so you can see here, I'm going to save this and do what my trusted developer has told me. My paintings. Then open it up again. So now we got this drawing here. So what I'm going to do is blend it. And blending is really easy. It's something that I showed you earlier and yesterday in the other tutorial. So let's go ahead and change the brush to shade. Okay. And then let's take this up to what we started off with, like 16, 18%. And then let's zoom into this area and pick the blue color and just gently do your brush strokes. Look how it's blending away. See that? Beautiful, isn't it? And then we could get that blue, so diffuse into that, right? Why not? Because that's what it looks like. Look, it's diffused into it. I'm not going to pay too much attention. That's all. You know, just enough to get away with it. Because remember, I'm going to do it in two parts. So now let's pick this and then just blend it into that region here. I have to thank my young daughter of 9 years old. She showed me this, how to blend. It's wonderful what you can come and pick up if you apply just a little bit of thought. All about techniques. Don't think the tools are going to do everything except make coffee for you. It's not the way to go. You have to think about developing your art techniques, yeah? Right, let's see what we have here. A very sort of a very bluish tinge. So we're going to have that. You know, take that down and add this bluish tinge at the back, just like it's saying here. And then we just go back and just pick this color and blend. That's all there is. And look how much we blended. Nice, beautiful blue. Now we're going to blend this greenery. Have you seen that? The greenery. We're gonna now diffuse that blended area because it's diffused, yeah? So how do we do this? Well, let's take this down. You can do the same. And then let's take this brown, pick the brown color and just see what happens. This is very important that you experiment. And let's just keep blending that, yeah? Pick these colors. See how quickly it's blending? You can't do that with tools. Tools, you need to know which region you're going to blend, and the digital tools were not designed for traditional artists. That's why there's a big division, a big divide between traditional and digital, because the digital tools that were developed to support the growing online industry, e-commerce, websites, logos, brochures, gaming, you name it. Can see that? We sort of blended that. You see how lovely it blended? And then we said we're going to blend it all the way down to that. Can you see it? Yeah, and then when we get closer to the horizon, right, I'm going to show you, because the blending effect, just like I did with the leopard, or the blending of the background, I'm just going to do something similar to show the illusion, give the illusion that there is greenery and the greenery happening at the back, right? So we got 9.7%. That's a pretty big. Let's get that green. It's a pretty big brush size. So what I'm going to do now is slightly switch and slightly reduce the brush size. Okay, and then pick these tones that are happening and let the eye decide what it should do, right? Maybe there's a cliff or a hill. We don't know. Let the eye decide. And then once we've done something, we can decide, what have we got here? This part is actually right up to that is quite, so this is quite dark. So let's just take this black bit here, sort of blend it here. And let's take this. I'm just experimenting. There's nothing really. I just want to make sure that I have good. This one, you see, this will be in harder foreground, so it won't be blended, right? I'm just blending that bit. Let's see what the blending looks like. It's beginning to look like, and then maybe what we can do is create some kind of thinking. So I'm just moving this here, I'm thinking that this black could be blended to that region, and then we could assume that it's part of the distant background, isn't it? Why not? And let's see what comes out of it, right? And then use this area here to be the sharp foreground where the fox is, on the hill. And then let's see what that looks like. I don't know, maybe I can shape it into something else, right? So it could be a green patch of land, or it could be, and we could do whatever we want. So now we want to blend the other side of the hill. So before I do that, I have to do my usual, and then go on my paintings. Pick the wrong one, sorry. Okay, so we did that, and then we're not too worried. You see how the fox is now really standing out? It's beautiful, isn't it? How you can diffuse the background, make that fox disappear. I mean, make the hills disappear into the background. It's lovely, isn't it? That's why I wanted to continue this path. So let's increase that, because we remember we picked a bigger brush. So I'm just bringing that down here. Just blending it here. Right? Just gives the illusion of hills, right? There. Give the illusion of hills. And play with it, by all means, experiment. Don't be afraid to experiment. Because if you're hesitant and not afraid to experiment, it means you're still on the beginning level and you're not really going to leap. Leap meaning get to the point where you can be free, expressive, and be more creative. You're just going to go hesitantly through this, and you don't want to do that. You really want to develop your skills. So you make sure I don't go to the fox. Right there. Right there. Just give that illusion that the hill has these darker patches, which is fine, isn't it? It gives like there's some character going on. Let's see what that looks like here. It's looking good, isn't it? Like we've done that. It looks like a hill. So you can take some of that color, and you know what? I think I'm gonna pick some of that green, lovely green, and take out some of that. Right there. Look at that. Isn't that lovely? Just a little bit of effort. It's produced a nice little hill. And what about this area? This one we have to do as well. Remember, the blending goes, though he's got his legs there, and the blending goes all the way between his legs because there's a hill there. So let's take that down there and make sure that we've just complete this for argument's sake. Look at that lovely hill that I've created. And then remember, his legs, hind legs, are there, and he's got some kind of... Right, that's it. And this is a rock, I think, just covering it. Look at that. It's beautiful, isn't it? Looks like the wonderful hill diffused in the background. So now we can focus all our attention in the foreground, which is this fox. And then, of course, you could imagine I'm going to switch back to the line brush, yeah? But before I do that again, come see how it is. Yep. So I'm going to Go save that. Okay. And then open it up again, and then I'll, so you don't have to do this, yeah? Okay. So we're here now, and then how are we doing for time? Let's have a look. Okay, so we'll probably go on for another 5-10 minutes, and before I want to do that, so I wanted to see how this fox is now with the line brush and the shade brush is now push the hills all the way back. Beautiful. Like we know that there's a hill, and there's a little lowlands here that I did here as well. You know, very quick, very easy. There's nothing too complicated. Now, what we're going to do is I'd like you to, this is no drawing experience required, okay? Remember, so I'm going to go back to the line brush, okay? And then I'm going to continue block coloring at a lower brush size. Look at that, 3.8%. Let me see what happens. Now watch how I get details from that. You see, now I can define which smaller regions I want to cover, right? And I'm still at 100%. I haven't actually done anything with that more. And I'm going to quickly go make sure I got the full range of colors that I want. Right, so remember I told you there's a mishmash. When you go close up, artists draw with a mishmash, and they do that because they haven't got the time to go intricately in every speck of detail. They just don't have the time, and they don't want to spend the time doing intricate details, yeah? So I'm just going to show you very quickly how this works with this 100%. And if the 100% does not work, I'm going to show you in the next lesson, which is coming up in 10 minutes or so after we stop here. And then you'll find the link in the description, of course. Then I will show you how the density brush works, okay? The density settings, very easy to understand. If you understand about HB, pencil drawing, you'll fully appreciate how the density settings work. So I'm just picking these colors that I couldn't have done with the broader brush. Yeah? There. Let's see what we see. We've got a bit more of the face, yeah? Got more detail of the face, and then we can do the same thing. Go here, get that lovely color of his tip here, and then get some of these colors that make up his. Right, so this is a smaller brush. It basically gives you so much more control and detail at a higher resolution, but it's still a mishmash. And then what we can do is, if you're following this, you know you can take this down all the way to 1%. And then watch how I do the details, like the eyes. Watch here. Such a small brush. Right? Here, you can see it. There, you can see that? These are the tones at such a low resolution, but it will give the shape of this fox's eyes, which is all important, all encompassing. See, I'm even tidying the areas around here. Okay, and then I could pick this color if it's not there. And then pick this lovely red color. So many details going on. Okay, and then we're going to do its nose here. Just get these colors. See how many different colors are popping up now with the smaller brush? Remember, this is not this is the reference image. And now we can refine this nose. Look at these different tones here. Color picker, I'm refining these tones. Such a small brush scale. And then this is this is what all great grandmasters did. They didn't, you think that they've produced, diligently spent all this time doing the trees, just like Bob Ross. It's all about speed. He had a technique where he didn't want to spend too long on a particular piece of painting, but he applied the same techniques to all his drawing. But there are hundreds of techniques you can learn. This is not just one or two, right? Look at that there. Look at these colors that I'm picking up. These are the actual colors that this fox possesses at this high resolution. Right? But yet, when we move away, we will know, we'll see something really interesting, yeah? Let's do its eyes and finish here, and then we'll carry on in the next. Can you see the details there? Capture these colors, yeah? Color picker, capture these colors. Okay. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Look at that, isn't it? Can you see? It almost looks like that fox. If you look at the top part of the fox, it almost looks like it is the fox. Now it's taking shape, and we're going to do the rest of the body and the foreground and the ground, and we'll be done. This is how simple and easy drawing on the phone and in the digital medium is. I haven't been constantly accessing the tools. I've just simply been using the tools and applying techniques, simple techniques that anyone can follow. So please do subscribe. You will be one of the just over the 100,000 subscriber mark, and you'll be very happily, I'm hoping to, you'll be happily rewarded with more tutorials, more videos now that reached the 100,000 mark. And thank you for all your support. Really appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you in the next, I think the next one's going to start pretty soon. Yep, like 6 minutes away. So you'll see a link in the description so we can carry on and finish this lovely drawing of the fox on top of a hill, right? So I'll see you then. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.